Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, and that's right. I am giving my thoughts on Disney's upcoming 100th short film, and I've been wanting to do this video for a while now, and now I am, and you guys are watching it. And if any of you are hearing about this for the first time, the short film itself, and because of me, basically, for Disney's new upcoming animated feature film, Wish, it will have a short film, which being Once Upon a Studio. And by the way, the running time for this short film is 9 minutes. That's awesome. And this is the first ever Disney short film to run that long. And it's worth it. Knowing what's going to happen in this short film, it's worth it. Hey, if it was say 10 minutes or 12 minutes, I wouldn't care. There's so much that could happen. You get my point. All right, but I'll go ahead and read the description/story. When two new employees stay at the Walt Disney Animation Studios overnight, they will see all the Disney characters from the past to today come to life and get all gathered up for their very own picture taken for their 100th anniversary. So a lot of Disney characters appearing in this, but before I get to that, talking about the cast and so on, the human characters in this, I'm not sure because the directors of Once Upon a Studio, Dan Abraham and Trent Corey, they're listed in the cast as themselves. Maybe or maybe not they're playing the two new employees. I don't know. But we do know that the late Bernie Madison, he's going to appear in this. And, from what I read about this short film, and one of them, which being about Bernie Madison, he's going to be, giving the two new employees, I think, a tour of the studio, obviously before it closes. And, and obviously, he filmed his appearance in the short film before he sadly passed away, as we all know, early this year. So it's good. It's going to be awesome to see him in this, and to see Bernie Madison one last time. And Bernie Madison, I tell you, because he's had the longest career in Disney. I've probably out of everybody, anybody who had worked at Disney, the longest. You get my point. And the Disney characters we're going to be getting in this short film, there's going to be a lot. I read that, we're going to be getting a total of I want to say 400, but then a little bit later I read we're going to be getting 500 Disney characters. If so, then yeah, because there's going to be a lot. You name it. Characters from Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, The Lion King, The Great Mouse Detective, The Princess and the Frog, Atlantis the Lost Empire, Big Hero 6, Zootopia, Robin Hood, Alice in Wonderland, The Emperor's New Groove, Winnie the Pooh, Pocahontas, The Sword and the Stone, The Aristocats, Lady and the Tramp, Mr. Toad, Tarzan, the list goes on. And so far, because looking at the cast on its IMDb page, nobody from, say, Brother Bear, Home on the Range, Wreck-It Ralph, any of those, nobody from those films not yet listed in the cast. But I tell you, because, we're going to have a good cast for this, and, and also, from what I read, they got a total of 40 actors, coming back to reprise their voice roles of the characters they voiced, those being Rosie O'Donnell, she'll be back voicing Turk. You got the cast from Aladdin, obviously Scott Weinger and Linda Larkin. For The Lion King, we're getting Ernie Sabella as Pumbaa, of course, and Cheech Marin, he'll be back voicing Bonsai, one of the hyenas. But some characters, say Simba, Timon, Milo Thatch, yeah, I think I got that right, and Kuzco, yeah, because Kuzco from The Emperor's New Groove, David Spade, Matthew Broderick, Nathan Lane, and again, they weren't able to, the total of 40 actors, like, and obviously they weren't able to get everybody back, and it's a bit disappointing, especially for this. Like, this is huge. Like, this is something that's going to be very exciting and that's major, but it's understandable. Like, most of them weren't available, so that's fine. Besides, like, those who will be voicing, like, Milo, Timon, Simba, any character, that unfortunately will not be voiced by their celebrity voice, they're acceptable. Like James Arnold Taylor, he'll be voicing Milo, and he voiced Milo in the sequel, Milo's Return, and he does a good impression of Michael J. Fox. Cam Clark, he'll be voicing Simba. Kevin Shawn, he'll be voicing Timon, and they do their very best to sound like Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane. And I'll be honest, I was a bit disappointed to hear that Nathan Lane is not going to be voicing Timon. I mean, he is the voice of Timon, and it's one of those moments where you're like, I wish he came back for this. Like, you get my point. But Kevin Shawn, he's acceptable because he's voiced Timon the longest, right next to Nathan Lane. So Timon has had a couple of different voice actors, but Kevin Shawn being the number one voice actor to voice Timon. You get my point. Also, like a couple of characters from Zootopia will be appearing, like Stu Hopps, Judy Hopps' father. There's also Yax, who is the head of that, like, naked animal spa. You know what I'm talking about, and he goes, oh, like, that's him. Flash, he's going to appear. Obviously, you have to have a character from Zootopia like Flash, so... And some of the Winnie the Pooh characters, like, we're getting Owl, Kanga, and Eeyore. So far, those are the only Winnie the Pooh characters that we know are going to appear. And Craig Ferguson, he'll be back to voice Owl. That's really cool. We remember him voicing Owl in the 2011 Winnie the Pooh film. And I was a bit disappointed at first, but okay, yeah, he's acceptable, because he's voiced Eeyore the longest as well. And that being Greg Berger, yeah. So, as I said, like, he's voiced Eeyore the longest, right next to Peter Cullen, and it's a shame, because, like, Peter Cullen not coming back to voice Eeyore for this. I mean, because he's another good, like, perfect voice for Eeyores. Just saying. Also, like, other Disney films that I didn't mention, like Meet the Robinsons and Balt, we're getting those characters as well, and Chicken Little. I did hear that like Chicken Little himself will appear, and if Zach Braff is going to come back to voice Chicken Little. But one character that we know so far is going to appear is Fish Out of Water. Like, I think, like, Fish Out of Water, he was, like, probably everybody's favorite character in that film, and Dan Molina will be back to voice Fish Out of Water, so that's great. And Piglet, oh yeah, Piglet, he'll be appearing as well in this, and, Piglet's current voice, Travis Oates, if I'm saying the last name right, I'm not sure. Also, characters from Pinocchio, yeah, if I hadn't mentioned Pinocchio already, Jiminy Cricket and Pinocchio, and Jay Worthington Foulfellow. And Jay Worthington Foulfellow is going to be voiced by Corey Burton. That's going to be pretty exciting. That's another thing. Some of the voice actors will be voicing Disney characters that they had never voiced before. Like, for James Arnold Taylor, for the first time, he's going to voice Robin Hood and the Prince. And yeah, the prince from Snow White, because here's the thing, like, I was confused at first, but it didn't take me that long to realize, oh, wait a minute, the prince from Cinderella, he's called Prince Charming, but for the prince in Snow White, he's just called the prince. So I'm sure he'll do good, like, on the prince, and especially Robin Hood, because we know that James Arnold Taylor, he can do a good British accent, especially since we know him best voicing Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan's British, and Robin Hood's British, so that makes perfect sense. And for Corey Burton, some of the characters that he'll be voicing for the first time, I believe, yeah, because, as I mentioned, he'll be, for the first time, voicing Jay Worthington Foulfellow. He'll also be voicing J. Abaddon Woodlore, if I'm saying that name right. Now, that character, he was in a Donald Duck short where Donald Duck was at the Grand Canyon, and, he was giving the people, like, a tour and, talking about the Grand Canyon, while also making sure Donald doesn't, like, throw trash in the Grand Canyon. So that's that character. He'll also be voicing for the first time Shere Khan, because, yeah, I didn't mention the Jungle Book. We are getting characters, of course, from the Jungle Book, and Shere Khan being one of them. And Corey Burton was at one point going to voice Shere Khan in the Jungle Book 3, because, with the direct-to-Disney, DVD sequels, as we all know, there were plans for a Jungle Book 3, and Corey Burton would have voiced Shere Khan had that happened. But, yeah, of course that didn't happen, and I think we'd be glad that it didn't happen, because, oh my gosh, what the story was like for that, wow, It would have been interesting, but I think we all be glad that it didn't happen. But it's nice to see that he'll finally voice Shere Khan. Some of the characters that he'll be voicing were originally voiced by Tony Jay, and Corey Burton stepped in voicing those characters that Tony had voiced, like, the Magic Mirror, Judge Claude Frollo. I'm not sure, have we heard him voice Frollo? I want to say in the Kingdom Hearts games? I think, yeah. I've heard him voice the Magic Mirror before. He'll also be voicing one of the dwarves, Grumpy, because, yeah, he's been voicing Grumpy. The Mad Hatter, Timothy Mouse. Apparently, he's listed to voice Sneezy. Although, technically, Bob Joles is going to be voicing some of the Disney characters. He's listed to voice Bagheera and Sneezy. And that's the thing, because Bob Joles has been the current voice of Sneezy ever since, he first voiced him. He voiced Sneezy in 1994 for Snow White and Ice. I mean, according to Bob Joles. So, I've heard Corey Burton voice Timothy Mouse and Mad Hatter before, most notably in The House of Mouse. And that's the thing, because some of the voice actors, they voiced some of the Disney characters in The House of Mouse. And obviously, Corey Burton, he's going to voice Captain Hook, and Ludwig von Drake, and Chip and Dale are, of course, going to appear in this. Corey Burton and Tress MacNeille reprising the roles of Chip and Dale, and of course, we're getting Mickey and the gang, from Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Goofy, Donald, Pluto, Daisy, Clarabelle Cow, and hopefully Pete will appear. Because, that's the thing. Jim Cummings is not listed in the cast. Why not? I have no doubt that he's going to be until there's another update. At this time, and as of this recording, and he's not listed in the cast yet. But I have no doubt that he'll not only voice Pete, but he'll also voice Pooh, Tigger, and pretty much all the rest of the characters that Sterling Holloway had voiced. No doubt about it. And Ray the Firefly. Yep, can't forget about Ray the Firefly. And that's another thing, because, characters from Princess and the Frog, Tiana, Prince Naveen, Lewis, the alligator, yeah, he's coming back. Hopefully Dr. Facilier comes back. Some of the Disney villains are listed. I already mentioned Captain Hook, Shere Khan. We're also getting Mr. Smee. There's also the Queen of Hearts and Cruella de Vil. Oh yeah, Maleficent as well. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm now just seeing this. And Lady Tremaine. Yeah, Cinderella's evil stepmother. And there's also going to be Mushu, Peter Pan, Snow White, and the rest of the dwarves, Thomas O'Malley, and just so many characters. And most notably, Olaf will once again be voiced by Josh Gad. And the thing is, already there's an image that's been revealed of Once Upon a Studio, and of course I have it on the green screen, and that being Olaf encountering the genie. And that's going to be really cool, because, Olaf and Genie interacting. And by the way, Genie will once again be voiced by the late legendary Robin Williams. Basically, it's been reported that they've gone back and, they're going to be using unused recordings of Robin Williams as Genie. It's like Robin Williams, lived once again to voice Genie. You get my point. So that's gonna be really cool. Also like other like actors, like voice actors that are not listed in the cast so far, and hopefully they will. Like, hey, like why not Tom Kenny? He can once again voice Rabbit, from Winnie the Pooh. That'd be great. And as I mentioned early, because characters from Brother Bear, Home on the Range, Wreck-It Ralph, no character from those films. We don't know like which ones are going to appear. Like, nobody is listed yet for voicing those characters. I hope that, for Brother Bear, Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas, they come back to voice Rut and Took. Like, everybody loves Rut and Took and Brother Bear, so why not those two? For Home on the Range, there's a couple that come to mind for me, and those are, say, Lucky Jack and Jeb the Goat, possibly. If any character from Home on the Range will once again be voiced by, their voice actor, or if they're just going to make a silent appearance. I mean, that is a good possibility that some of the Disney characters some of them will appear, having silent roles. And you know what? Like, nobody from Hercules is listed yet. Not even Tangled. Like, I hope that, those who had voiced Hercules, Meg, and, Hades, Pain and Panic, they can easily come back for this. And Tangled, like, golly, I would think that Mandy Moore and Zachary Levi, yeah, they come back to voice Flynn and Rapunzel. And besides, they voiced them in the Tangled series. Like, that is a good possibility. And by the way, Treasure Planet, like one character from Treasure Planet is listed, and Roger Bumpus, like, the character that he voiced in Treasure Planet, Turnbuckle, he's that one alien, pirate crew member that was steering the wheel, yeah. Also, Stitch, he's going to appear in this, of course, and of course, once again, be voiced by Chris Sanders. Who else? And the characters from Big Hero 6, we're going to obviously get Baymax, Hero, and we're also going to get Tadashi. Yeah, Tadashi's going to be in this. And also, Basil of Baker Street is going to be in this too, and Basil of Baker Street being voiced by Maurice LaMarche. Maurice did voice Basil in an episode of The Great Mouse Detective, as well as voicing Professor Ratigan. Hopefully, Professor Ratigan appears as well, and Maurice LaMarche voicing Ratigan as well, voicing both of them, and characters from Bolt, Mittens, and Rhino, they're coming back. It just, there's a lot of characters, and, I recommend, you look at the cast yourself, on its IMDb page, wherever. I don't want to keep this video going that long, so, But yeah, I'm really excited to see how the animation turns out. I mean, what we've seen so far with the stilled image of, Genie and Olaf, again, on the green screen behind me, but still, we'll have to wait and see. And no doubt, of course, we're going to get a trailer, and, we'll get more details and information and, who else is going to appear in this. It's just so exciting that this is happening, and, again, there is a lot of people that I know that love this kind of stuff, having Disney characters cross over, especially, good examples, Roger Rabbit, the House of Mouse, and, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Okay, not just Disney characters, but other cartoon characters from other, animation studios. You get my point. It's fun. It definitely is fun. And with this, being, full-blown Disney, and, we're not going to be getting characters say, from Pixar, Star Wars, and Marvel. This is all about Disney, okay? This is what it's about, and stuff like that. Even though, Pixar, Star Wars, Marvel, yes, they're part of the Disney family, but, you get my point. So, there's that. But yeah, and, I just can't wait. All I can say is I really can't wait for this, and definitely, I want to see this on the big screen. This is a must-see on the big screen. And I know that I'm also going to enjoy, you know, the film Wish, you know, and it looks interesting so far. And, you know, until we get more, like, trailers for this and how it's going to look, you know? So anyways... But what about you guys? What do you think so far of Disney's upcoming 100th short film, Once Upon a Studio, and all that I've talked about in this video, giving my thoughts on Once Upon a Studio? Leave comments and give this video a like, as always. So, with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me giving my thoughts on Disney's upcoming 100th short film, Once Upon a Studio. I definitely plan on doing another video giving my thoughts on it when we get more updates. Look forward to more new videos on the way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, and peace out.